You ever feel like you're screaming in a room full of people, and no one even looks up? Like your pain is invisible, your silence louder than your words, and the world just walks right past you, like you never existed. They don't see you, they never did. You give, you bleed, you sacrifice. Still, it's not enough. Not for them. You try to fit in. You try to keep your head down. You try to be the version of you they can tolerate. But deep down, something snaps, something burns. Because you realize, no matter how much you give, you'll never be enough for people who never saw your worth to begin with. They'll laugh when you fall. They'll whisper when you're broken. And when you finally stand up, they'll act like they never doubted you. But here's the truth they never want you to realize. You don't have to prove a damn thing to them. You never did. Time will speak louder than your words ever could. Time will be your witness. Time will be your revenge. Because while they were busy mocking your silence, you were rebuilding. While they were talking, judging, doubting, you were sharpening your blade in the dark, preparing for the day they'd regret everything they ever said. You don't need to scream. You don't need to explain. Let them misunderstand you. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Because one day, they'll choke on every word they used to cut you. One day they'll look up. In the silence they ignored, it'll become the echo of their greatest mistake. So if you're watching this right now, and you feel broken, if you're drowning in a world that never clapped for you, never saw your light, never gave a damn, good. Stay right there. Because that's where the monster is born. That's where the warrior awakens. That's where your story starts. This isn't about proving them wrong. This is about proving to yourself that you never needed their approval to begin with. Time is watching. And time never forgets. So sit back, stay quiet, and let the storm come. Because when it hits, they'll remember your silence forever. Rejection doesn't just sting, it brands you. It carves itself into your skin, your thoughts, your breath, like a scar that never really fades. And the worst part, it doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it's your own blood, your own friends, the ones who swore they'd never walk away. They see you fall, and they vanish. They see you struggle, and they turn their backs. They say things like, "You're too much. You're not enough. You'll never make it." And somehow their silence cuts deeper than their words ever could. You ever sit in your room at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, replaying everything you could have said, should have done, trying to figure out what you did wrong? Here's the truth. You didn't do anything wrong. You were just too real in a world that rewards fake, too deep in a world that loves surface, too loyal to people who were only around for the good times. Rejection teaches you something they don't write in books. That no matter how kind, how giving, how loyal you are, some people will still walk away. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of theirs. But that pain, that betrayal, that burning hole in your chest when they left, that's where power is born. That's where your skin gets thicker. That's where your spine straightens. That's where your heart stops begging for crumbs. Because you learned to stop knocking on doors that were never meant to open for you. You stopped shrinking yourself just to be accepted. You stopped breaking yourself just to make others comfortable. Let me ask you something. How many times have you bitten your tongue just to keep the peace? How many times have you swallowed your truth, your anger, your dreams, just to fit into a world that doesn't deserve you? Enough. You're not weak because they didn't choose you. You're strong because you kept going anyway. You got back up. You kept breathing. You faced the mirror every day and still dared to dream, even when nobody else believed in you. That's not failure. That's resistance. And resistance is the birthplace of warriors. You see, rejection doesn't kill you. It reveals you. It peels away the parts of you that depended on validation. It forces you to rebuild your identity, not on who accepts you, but on who you decide to become. That fire in your chest right now, that ache, that's proof you still care, that you're still in the fight, that somewhere inside, you're still holding on to the idea that maybe, just maybe, your story isn't over yet. Guess what? It's not. This chapter you're in right now, it's ugly, it's cold, it's lonely, but it's necessary. Because pressure doesn't destroy diamonds, it creates them. And right now, you're being forged, hammered, tempered in silence. So when they laugh, when they talk, when they move on without you, let them. They're not your tribe. They're not your future. They're the lesson. And you're the storm they never saw coming. The pain you feel now is the tax for the life you're building. It's the cost of outgrowing people who only knew how to love the old version of you. So feel it. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Let the rejection shape you. Let the betrayal fuel you. Let every no, every you can't, every door slammed in your face become the fuel that lights your fire. Because one day, when the lights hit you, when the world finally sees what you've become, they'll pretend they never doubted you. They'll say they always believed in you. But you'll know the truth, and you'll smile, not out of spite, but because you finally became what they said you couldn't. So remember this, you don't rise despite rejection. You rise because of it. Because the world breaks the weak, but it fears the ones who rise from the ashes. They told you how to live, didn't they? From the moment you could walk, they handed you a script. Be nice, stay quiet, smile more. Don't speak unless spoken to. Follow the rules, fit in. Don't question. They didn't raise you to be strong. They raised you to be obedient, to be a puppet on strings, a shadow in a crowd, another cog in their perfect little machine. But what happens when the puppet cuts the strings? What happens when the quiet one finally speaks? You were never meant to follow their path. You were meant to destroy it. And they feared that. So they buried you under expectations. Go to school, get the job, smile through the pain. Don't fail, don't fall apart. Don't dream too loud, don't be too much. They want you numb, predictable, easily controlled. Because if you ever realized how powerful you truly are, their little world would fall apart. But here's the truth. Their expectations are a prison. And you were born to escape. You've been living under a mask for so long, you forgot what your own face looks like. You've been told who to be for so long, you forgot who you really are. You've been so focused on pleasing everyone else that you forgot you were allowed to please yourself. They told you to be kind, so you let people walk all over you. They told you to be patient, so you waited for things that were never coming. They told you to be humble, so you hid your light and dimmed your fire. Why? So they could feel more comfortable, so they wouldn't feel insecure around your greatness. That ends now, because here's the part they never told you. You don't owe them anything. Not your silence, not your sacrifice, not your sanity. You don't owe this world your conformity. You owe yourself your freedom. You were never meant to be average. You were never meant to live a life designed by cowards, built on fear, enforced by shame. You were meant to break things, to question, to rise, to rebel. You ever wonder why you feel so out of place, so different, so wrong? It's because you were never supposed to fit in. You were supposed to stand out. They don't reward the bold, they punish it. They call you crazy for dreaming too big. They call you difficult when you stop tolerating their nonsense. They call you selfish when you finally choose yourself. That's the system, designed to keep lions acting like sheep. But deep down, you know the truth. You've always known. You were born for something more. That fire in your chest, that whisper in your soul, that storm in your blood. That's your real self, trapped under years of programming. Now, it's time to let it out. Tear the script, burn the mask, break the mold. Because there's no freedom in living someone else's idea of who you should be. You think Arthur Fleck wanted to become a monster? Number he became one, because society shoved him in a corner and told him to smile through the pain, to keep pretending, to keep performing, until he snapped. Now I'm not telling you to become him, but I am telling you this. You either break their expectations, or they will break you. The longer you pretend to be something you're not, the more it will rot you from the inside out. You'll wake up one day with regrets heavier than any burden you've ever carried. Because nothing is more painful than betraying yourself to please a world that doesn't even see you. You don't have to become what they expected. You don't have to follow their map. You can burn it all down and build something new. A life that's yours. A path that's yours. A voice that's yours. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real. You don't have to fit in. You just have to stand tall. And you sure as hell don't need their approval to be who you were born to be. You've been trying to prove something to them for too long. That ends now. Let them choke on their expectations, while you rise from the ashes of everything they tried to bury you with. There comes a moment when you stop asking why they hurt you and start asking what it woke up inside you. Pain changes people, but suffering reveals them. You thought the pain was breaking you, but all it did was peel back the weakness, rip away the illusion, and expose the unshakable force that's been buried inside you this whole time. You're not soft anymore. You're not begging anymore. You're not waiting for someone to save you. You are becoming the betrayal, the rejection, the loneliness. That was your crucible, your transformation, like steel in the fire, like a storm waiting to erupt, like a warrior sharpening their blade in the silence. You're not broken, you're forged. They wanted you soft. You became solid. They wanted you quiet. You became thunder. They wanted you gone. You became a ghost they can't outrun. You know why they're afraid now? Because you stopped explaining yourself. You stopped asking for permission. You stopped looking for their applause. And in that silence, something awoke. You started walking different, talking different, thinking different. No more second guessing, no more shrinking, no more hiding your flame just to keep others warm. You've been through hell, and came back colder, cleaner, clearer. You don't flinch anymore. You don't chase anymore. You watch. And when the time is right, you move like fire. Unapologetic, unstoppable, unforgiving. Because now you know you were never weak. You were never fragile. You were just waiting to remember who the hell you are. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them pretend they still know you. They don't. That version of you, the one who begged, they buried it. And what rose from that grave? A weapon, a storm, a force that doesn't break. It burns. So carry your pain like armor. Let your scars speak louder than your smile. And never again. Apologize for the power you've earned. You didn't ask for this war, but you're sure as hell built to win it. Stand in front of the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes. Don't look away. Don't blink. Just look. Now ask yourself, who am I without the pain? Who am I without their approval? Who am I when no one's watching and there's no one left to impress? Silence. That's where the real answers live. Not in their praise, not in their expectations, not in the roles they've forced you to play. But right here, right now, in this quiet moment, between breath and breakdown. You've been chasing so hard, trying to become someone they'd accept, someone they'd love, someone they'd fear. But you don't need to become anyone. You need to return to yourself. You see that person staring back at you? That's the one who carried you through hell. That's the one who took the beatings, the betrayals, the losses, and still woke up, still stood up, still kept going. You don't give that version of you enough credit. You're so busy hating your scars, you forget they're proof that you survived. You're not broken, you're rebuilt. Every crack is filled with fire. Every bruise hardened into armor. Every time you were left behind, you learned to walk alone. But you never stopped. And that's power most people will never understand. So the question isn't, why did they hurt me? The question is, what did it awaken in me that they couldn't control? What version of you rises when no one's clapping? Who do you become when you finally stop trying to please people who never cared? Look again. Not at your past, not at your wounds, but at the warrior you've become because of them. That's the real you. Not perfect, not polished, not pretty, but real, raw, resilient. You don't need to heal to be powerful. You already are, right now, right here. So next time you face the mirror, don't look away. Stare, and remind yourself, I've been through hell. I've walked alone, and I'm still standing. And the world, it hasn't seen the half of what's coming next. There's a moment in every warrior's life when the pain stops breaking them and starts building them. That moment is now. You've been carrying the weight of your past like chains, dragging your worth through the dirt, waiting for someone to come along and say, "You're enough now. You've made it. You can rest." But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. No one is coming, not to save you, not to validate you, not to fix what they broke. And maybe that's a gift. Because now, you stop waiting, you stop asking, you decide. This is the turning point. This is where the victim dies, and the warrior wakes up. No more explaining your silence. No more apologizing for your growth. No more proving yourself to people who never deserved a seat at your table. Because what you've been through, that was the test. That was the setup. That was the fire that burned away the weakness and left nothing but steel. The days of waiting for their approval are over. The days of shrinking your light to make others comfortable, dead. You were never meant to be a follower. You were meant to shake the ground when you walk. So now, you move different. You breathe different. You carry yourself like someone who has nothing to prove, because the pain already proved it for you. You don't need revenge. You are the revenge. Every step you take forward in silence is a scream they can't ignore. Every time you rise without making noise, every time you level up without making a scene, that's the storm they didn't see coming. Because they expected you to beg, to break, to disappear. But instead, you adapted, you learned, you rebuilt. Now you move with purpose, you speak with intention, and you no longer fight for attention. You attract it. Because power isn't loud, it's undeniable. You don't have to convince anyone anymore. You just have to be. And time will speak for you. It will show them what silence built. It will show them what pain forged. It will show them what kind of monster they created when they turned their back on you. You were born for this moment, not to be understood, but to become unforgettable. So take a deep breath, wipe the blood off your face, and step forward. Not with fear, not with doubt, but with fire in your veins and clarity in your eyes. Because from this moment on, you don't chase, you create. You don't follow, you lead. You don't break, you bend reality to your will. This is your turning point. The old you is gone. The new you, unapologetic, unshaken, unstoppable. Pain was never your enemy. It was your teacher. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every time they said, "You're not enough," they were building something inside you, a fire. And not the kind that just warms you. Not some flickering candle. Remember, this fire, it consumes, it purifies, it transforms. You didn't become powerful in the sunshine. You became powerful in the storm, when the world went quiet, when nobody believed in you, when you had to claw your way out of the darkness. That's where your real strength was born. Let's get something clear. They didn't build you. The struggle did. The nights you cried yourself to sleep. The mornings you didn't want to get out of bed. The days you wore a smile but felt like dying inside. That's what made you different. That's what made you dangerous. See, most people quit when it hurts. They fold. They break. They become what the world expects them to be. But you kept going. You took the hit, tasted the blood, wiped your mouth, and said, "Is that all you got?" That's the fire. And it's not just some emotional metaphor. It's real. It's living inside your chest. And it's waiting for you to stop fearing it and start feeding it. You want to know how legends are made? They take their pain and own it. They don't run from it. They don't numb it. They use it. Use every insult, every failure, every locked door, every cold shoulder, every time they looked at you like you were nothing. Fuel. Because here's what they didn't expect. That all the things they did to destroy you would be the exact same things that rebuilt you. You don't need applause anymore. You don't need sympathy. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone who walked away when you needed them the most. You just need one thing. The fire. It doesn't matter how slow you go. It doesn't matter if you're limping. It doesn't matter if you're still healing, still bleeding, still unsure. As long as that fire's still lit, as long as that anger hasn't turned to apathy, as long as you still feel that pull inside you, you are not done. You are just beginning. Let me be real with you. Most people will never understand you. They'll say you're too intense, too cold, too focused, too ambitious, too much. Because they don't know what it's like to be betrayed by people you die for. They don't know what it's like to have your world collapse and still show up. They don't know what it takes to rebuild a soul with nothing but your own damn hands. But you do. You've lived it. You've survived it. And now, you own it. And that fire, it's not just for survival anymore. It's for creation. You're not just surviving the world anymore. You're about to reshape it. You're going to walk into every room like you own it. Not because of arrogance, but because you've earned that right. You didn't get here on luck. You didn't get here on handouts. You got here on grit, rage, silence, scars, and work. You're still building, still growing, still rising. Let them think they've seen the best of you. Let them believe they know your limits. They don't even know your beginning. Because from this fire, you don't just rise, you reign. There's a moment where the pain no longer controls you, where the opinions don't cut the same, where the old wounds stop bleeding and start hardening into armor. That moment is now, because what once buried you is now the very ground you stand on. And when you look back, you won't see the betrayal, the rejection, the failure. You'll see the battlefield, and you'll smirk, because you didn't just survive it, you conquered it. You rose. You rose when they thought you'd stay broken. You rose when they laughed at your silence. You rose when no one clapped, no one believed, no one cared. You didn't need a stage. You didn't need applause. You didn't need the world's permission. You just needed one thing. Your own damn permission. And once you gave yourself that, there was no stopping you. Because here's the part they never saw coming. You didn't come back the same. You didn't come back softer. You came back colder, stronger, smarter, sharper. And the old version of you, the one who begged, waited, doubted, dead. You've become something else now. Something they can't define. Something they can't control. They can't guilt you anymore. They can't shame you into silence. They can't break you with the same tricks, because you've outgrown their games. You don't react. You move. You build. You strike when it's time. You've become calm, but not weak. Silent, but deadly. Forgiving, but never forgetting. And now, your scars, they're not flaws, they're proof. Proof you've been to war. Proof you've seen hell. Proof you've faced demons they wouldn't last a minute against. And you won. But the real victory, you didn't let the darkness make you cruel. You learned how to use it, how to channel it, how to become the kind of person who rises above, but never forgets where they came from. Because rising above doesn't mean pretending the pain never happened. It means using the pain like a compass, to guide you, to ground you, to fuel you. It means letting go of needing to be understood. It means releasing the fantasy that they'll ever say sorry. It means standing at the edge of your old life, looking at the ruins they left behind, and walking away like a king who just burned his own castle down. Because now, you don't live there anymore. You're building something new, stronger, wiser, higher. You don't need to scream anymore. You don't need revenge. Your existence, your silence, your glow-up. That's the revenge. Let them watch. Let them whisper. They don't know what it took for you to get here. They never will. But you do. You know every sleepless night, every breakdown, every lonely step forward. And you wear it like a crown. Because you didn't rise above to be accepted. You rose above to be free. Free from the lies. Free from the guilt. Free from the cage they built for you. And now, you are unreachable. Not because you ran, but because you climbed so high. Your hands can't touch you anymore. And that's power. That's transformation. That's what it means to rise above. You didn't come this far just to heal. You came to evolve. You didn't walk through fire just to be a better version of who you were. You walked through it to burn the old self to ashes and rise as someone they'll never recognize. You're not broken. You're not damaged. You're not still figuring it out. You are reborn. Let's stop pretending you're the same person who got betrayed. The same person who was underestimated, laughed at, cast aside. That version of you died quietly, in a room full of pain, while no one was watching. And what emerged from that silence? A version of you that doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't explain. A version of you that speaks less, but says everything without a word. This is your transformation. Not some fairy tale, not some motivational quote. This is blood. This is fire. This is earned power. Own it. Stand in it. Walk like it. think like it. Be it. You no longer need to shrink to fit into their world. You've outgrown it. You don't apologize for your ambition, your standards, your silence. You own it. Unapologetically, unforgivably. And anyone who can't handle who you've become, let them leave. Because you didn't rise to be accepted. You rose to be untouchable. They don't have to like your growth. They don't have to understand your silence. They don't even have to believe in your comeback. Because now, you believe in it. You are no longer who you were. And that's not something to hide. That's something to wear like a crown made of scars and steel. This is your identity now. Unbreakable, unbothered, unstoppable. So when you walk into the world from this moment forward, don't flinch, don't apologize, don't look back. Own the transformation, and never let them forget what silence turned you into. This is the moment, right here, right now. No noise, no distractions, just you and the truth. You've got two options. Option 1, go back to the old version of you, the one who lowered their voice, the one who waited for validation, the one who tolerated betrayal with a smile. Go back to being small, being quiet, being acceptable. But you and I both know that person doesn't exist anymore. Option 2, embrace who you've become. Step into the power that pain unlocked. Walk like a storm. Breathe like fire. Live like someone who's done waiting for permission. Own the scars. Use the silence. Let the world see the version of you they never thought would survive. Because once you choose this path, there's no turning back. People will question you, hate you, fear you. Let them. They're not supposed to understand this version of you. They're supposed to feel it. So here's the question. Do you go back to being who the world tried to shape you into? Or do you rise as the version you forged in the fire? You already know the answer. Say it out loud. I choose me. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for someone to tell you, go ahead, now's your moment. Stop waiting for the pain to disappear, for the fear to fade, for the world to finally understand you. That moment is never coming. You want change? Take it. You want respect? Earn it in silence. Then let time speak for you. You want revenge? Live better. Not for them, but for you. Because they don't deserve your rage. They deserve to watch you become everything they said you never would. No more overthinking. No more holding back. No more waiting for the stars to align. You are the storm. You are the silence that breaks empires. You are the lesson they'll never forget. So here's what you're going to do. Build in silence. Move in power. Speak only when your presence is not enough. They don't need to know what's coming. Let your actions be the earthquake. Let your growth be the ghost that haunts their conscience. Let your patience be the knife they never saw coming. Don't prove them wrong. Just disappear from their level. Then let the results destroy them. Because you've wasted enough time begging to be seen. Now you command attention. Now you walk in purpose. You lead with presence. You live with fire in your chest and ice in your eyes. So get up, right now. No more delays, no more permission, no more fear. This is your time. This is your rise. This is your silence turning into dominance. Let them feel the pressure. Let them regret the day they underestimated you. Go. Be the storm. They'll speak your name, but not the way they used to. Not with laughter, not with pity, not with judgment. They'll say it with awe, with regret, with fear. Because you became the one they never saw coming. You didn't scream, you didn't beg, you didn't threaten. You just disappeared and turned into something they couldn't recognize. They'll ask, how did they do it? How did they survive that? How did they rise from that? But you'll know the answer. You became a legend, not by proving them wrong, but by proving yourself right. You took the silence, the pain, the rejection, and you turned it into a weapon. You became the type of person who walks into a room and doesn't have to say a word. Because the energy speaks louder than any voice ever could. You'll be the name they whisper when they talk about strength. The face they remember when they think of resilience. The ghost that haunts their memory when they think of everything they could have done to keep you in their life. But they didn't. And now, they don't get access to you. They don't get to witness your greatness up close. They don't get to stand next to the fire they tried to extinguish. You'll be a legend because you made a choice to rise, to rebuild, to walk alone, until you didn't need anyone to walk beside you. So here's your final task. Never shrink again. Never explain again. Never apologize for who you had to become. Because who you are now, that's someone entire bloodlines will remember. You don't owe the world a performance. You are the performance. You don't have to prove anything. Time already did. And if this hit you deep, if you felt that burn in your chest, then this isn't the end. It's the beginning. Subscribe to this channel right now, because we're not done. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a war cry like this. Like, share, and send this to someone who forgot what they're made of. Remind them. The silence doesn't mean weakness. It means you're just getting started.